Welcome back to the channel. I'm Rochelle. This is Brampton Gardener, and this is my very first video of 2023. Today's video, we are going to be doing an update on the amaryllis. If you want to know more about what I did with them, I will have the video linked at the end of this video, how I decided to try and overwinter and the whole dormancy thing. It didn't really happen. Anyways, so first off, what I have here is my potting mix. So I went down and I had some in the garage, so it's not frozen, but I did add in some boiling water and some hydrogen peroxide. So the boiling water is hopefully going to kill off any fungus gnats that might have been in there, and it's also really quickly helps to re-moisten the soil. So sometimes, especially if there's a lot of peat moss in there, it can just take forever to moisten. So we did that. We're gonna let it cool down because it's still pretty warm. So the amaryllis. So in that video, I cut off all the roots, I cut off all the greenery, and I dry stored them. Now they were supposed to go into a cool, dark place for about a month or two, and then I was gonna pull them out. Well, they never left my kitchen. It was one of those things I just kept forgetting to put. I'm like, oh, I gotta go put them with the cannas. I gotta put them with the cannas. I never did. And they were doing fine here. They got a little brown and dried out, but then this guy started sprouting. So I was like, oh, okay, well, let's put you in some dirt. So that's what we are gonna do. Now, the other amaryllis in that video, I followed the lady's instructions to a T, and I put it in the sand that she recommended, and like absolutely nothing. They just dried out into crisps. The sand just, it's like, it's hard as a rock. Like it just turned into cement. So I don't know if I would risk trying it again, but if I did, I would definitely put it into some potting soil. I wouldn't do the sand thing. Or I would kind of be tempted maybe to do like water. Like if you cut it and you leave the roots on it and then do it in like the water bulb vases type thing, that might work better. So this was a bust. Don't do it like this. Don't do the sand. But it's left me with two, so I have two amaryllis left. Now these are the containers I'm going to put them in. I have two of these. I love these containers. They're so pretty. I got them at the dollar store at Dollarama, and I don't have any of the little like pots to put them in, the little plastic pots to put them in. And so drainage is going to be a bit of a problem. So I was inspired by the foil containers that my poinsettias came in, and they do a pretty good job of holding stuff in. So I'm going to make my own little mini pot things with some foil. Never done this before. The idea just occurred to me, so we're going to give it a go. And my scissors are of course over here. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm just going to take a piece of foil. Sorry about that. I'm gonna cut it in half. I'm just gonna tear it and stab myself with scissors apparently. Okay. And I'm just gonna ball this up, especially in this one. So this little pot is getting something else. I'll show you in a minute. It's super cute. I'm just gonna put that in the bottom, and that's just gonna be to hold my my pot up. So I'm gonna make some of these. Now you might be asking, why don't I just put some rocks below the soil and all of that? But the reason for that is there has been a lot of new information out on how that is actually not great. It doesn't really provide more drainage to put rocks at the bottom of a pot. All it does is just raise the level of where the moisture is all sitting. And it actually can be worse than if you just had soil in a pot. So if I remember, I might link to a video about that. But if not, you can Google it. Okay, so that's just gonna be to hold my little pots up off the bottom of the thing and allow drainage into the bottom part. So now I'm just gonna take some foil and play around with it. I probably will just voice over this and or music because foil is really, really loud and noisy and no one wants to deal with that, so. Montage mode. sooner. That's way easier. Find something round and it'll stick in better. Okay, so now we have all our little pots in there. Hopefully this works because that was pretty quick and easy. If you don't have access to the little cans or pots that fit right inside. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to poke a few holes for drainage with a skewer. So anything that's just going to, and I'm just going to kind of pick the lower sitting pots, just a few spots around because you don't want water sitting in here. So we're just going to do that to all 3 of them. Sorry. If you were wondering about drainage, we're going to add some holes. So, okay. But it's just going to keep it up, off, out of the water. Okay. So, the amaryllis bulbs, you really only want the soil to come up part way. So they're going to sit up nice and high in here. So I'm going to fill these up almost all the way with soil. And it might come up over the edge of this a little bit, hopefully not, but we'll see. And then in this one, and I'm pre-soaking it just so it transfers well. I just have it sitting in a bit of water. I bought this little cedar. Isn't it so cute? So when we went to Terra Greenhouses to check out their Christmas stuff, they were clearing out these little tiny cedar plants for $1. And I was tempted to buy a whole bunch of them, but I thought they'll be really, if I can keep it alive, it'll be really, really cute in the mini garden in the front of the house there. So we will be attempting to keep it alive until summer, but I'm not great with houseplants. Last year I had the lime cypress and lemon cypress, and I kept it alive until almost time for it to go outside, and that last few weeks it got kind of pushed behind other stuff and it did not get watered. Oops. So we are going to transplant this one out. Maybe we'll do this one first. So my soil, it's still warm, but it's cooled down. Should be cool enough. Ooh, no, it's still hot. It's still hot. So I'm going to fill all of these and then let it cool down a little bit more, and then we will pot them up. And I'm going to try the technique, but I don't want this to go in there if it's too hot. So we're going to take this out and just let it sit right there. So I'm going to just use this as my guide on how much to put in or not put in. I keep seeing people do this and I think, oh, that's a cool idea. And then I never think to try it. So we're going to try it today. So we got a little bit too much soil there. So hopefully this one's cool enough. Pull out my little center thing, which means I have a little hole right in the middle, the exact size of my tray. So it's just gonna fit right inside there. Voila! How cute is that? So I'm just gonna pack it in nicely and tight so we don't have any air bubbles in there. Okay, and then I'm going to push the edges down nicely. And I'm going to just tear off any of this excess foil because I don't really want it showing. And then I can tuck it down. Tuck it, tuck it. Twigs, branches. So now if you want, and if you wanted to keep down, keep the soil moist and all that, you could put a little bit of moss on it. I might add a few little rocks, pebbles, we'll see. And there's my little tree, my first planting of 2023, and it's the cutest little tree you ever saw. Okay, so these I think have cooled down enough, and I'm just gonna find this little spot in the middle, and I'm just gonna sink them in. Okay, and this one here. Now, I did just watch an amazing video that a lady posted. I will try and remember to post the link down below. And in that one, she did a technique where she soaked the amaryllis roots for, I think it was anywhere from 12 to 24 hours prior to potting them up. So when you take them out of dormancy, she just stuck them in a thing of water and then potted them. I don't know if she put new potting. I don't know what she did after that, but they soaked first, and it was amazing the difference in the results on how much faster they like bloomed and all of that. So if you're someone that brought your plants in after the summer and you really want them for Christmas, go check out that video, because she shows how, I think it's more for the timing, right? For me, I don't really care about having them at Christmas, because at Christmas I have so many other decorations are up and I have my poinsettias, and I don't really mind not having the amaryllis blooming at that time. So for me, I would rather have them blooming in January and February. Time I don't have a lot of things blooming, and my seedlings are all pretty small, and so at that time it's nice to just have, you know, a bright, sunny, smiling flower in the living room. So that is my, let me go wash my hands, hold on. So there we have it, folks. These are my first little plantings of 2023. They really needed to get into larger containers, and let's just hope we can keep them alive, because I really loved how well they performed in my planter out front. I'm actually more excited to have them as just a giant green foliage in my porch planter than even having them blooming inside. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Sorry, me again. Whoops, don't go. I am going to just water them in gently, just a little bit of water, just to make sure, especially for this one, just to make sure that they don't have any little air pockets. These ones not so much, because I just shoved them in, but, and the soil is very moist. But this one, yeah. Okay, now you can go.